Crypto Jimbo here today, and we're talking about yield farming. So it's always good to get back to my roots. You know, I do all these side hustles and passive income, but we're back to my original. This is how I started, was with yield farming. And we're going to talk about yield farming. This is actual true DeFi. So DeFi, the name has been just butchered by all these companies that are actually doing Ponzi-nomics. They're actually doing nodes and things like that are not actually bringing in any return other than new people coming into the program. But yield farming is not like that. It is a business. You are providing liquidity. You're providing a service. And in exchange for that, you get a return. The revenue is very clear where it comes from. So very happy to bring these guys back on the channel. We had them on. It's probably been about a month or maybe a little bit more. But excited to have them back on, talk about their yield farming co-op program that they have running, kind of hear the ins and outs of it. This is your chance for your questions to be answered, either about yield farming in general. I know they would love to talk about that. So in the comments, let us know if there's anything you want to talk about, or the yield farming co-op. So how can you make money from the crypto craze and from yield farming in general? So we're going to do quick introductions. Not too long. There's 3 of you, so we got to keep these introductions short and sweet. But a quick introduction. Who are you? How'd you find your way to crypto? How'd you learn about yield farming? And we'll start with Aaron because he is clockwise on the screen.
Well, thanks for having us, James. We really appreciate it. Hello to your audience. Glad to be back. My experience in crypto started about 4 years ago. Got in through just through Coinbase. Started, with stocks previous to that, and just love investing. And so got into crypto and Ethereum particularly, then it got on chain. And then immediately after getting on chain, I started learning about yield farming, got into Uniswap and started providing liquidity there, got into GMX on the Arbitrum chain, started getting some yield from the trade volume that's going on over there. And that was the start of my journey. But about 3 years of that now, I got in contact with Chris and Cliff through the Pi program, and we were doing. Those guys are really the forerunners of the Pi NFTs and the yield farm co-op stuff, and have taken off with this. So I'm happy to join them and excited to be here.
Awesome. And then keeping our clockwise direction, we'll go over to Cliff next. Cliff, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, and I think you're on mute. I'm a pretty good lip reader, but the audience might not be.
With my accent would make it even harder, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, thank you, James. Glad to be back. I started in crypto about nearly 3 years now, and going through my share of rugs. And as James said in the introduction, the thing they call DeFi, it was just Ponzi-nomics. You put your money in, they take it and go. So I did some trading, foreign exchange, and about 7 months ago, my association with Chris got me into yield farming, and I'm loving every minute of it. My only regret is when I jumped into crypto, I did not get to yield farming. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Praise the Lord. That's amazing. And then we'll go over to Chris.
Howdy, y'all. I saw Pocket Aces say hi, so hi to him. Hi to everybody else as well. I'm glad you're tuning in. My name's Chris. I've been yield farming for quite a bit now. I also have my stripes with other DeFi projects that didn't turn out as advertised. I think we all have, which is the whole emphasis for starting yield farming. I wanted to stand up a crypto-based business where I could make some reliable income. And so that's what I started to do on my own, and had some really good success. And I really wanted to help others. We stood up a farming NFT program in a different community. It's been running strong for over 7 months, just running farms and paying out rewards on a monthly basis to everybody that has one of those NFTs. And the program has been through a few evolutions, but it's still farming away, hitting all of our program goals. And I was like, you know what? I think now that we've had success with this program, that I think we should help other people learn how to do it for themselves, which is why we started the Yield Farming Co-op. And um, Aaron and Cliff are super active in the co-op as admins. They run sessions. We have up to 4 meetings a week in the co-op, and everybody is there to help everybody else learn, and that's what we learn. What we love about the co-op. So thanks for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to talk about it. We got Felix. What's with the hair, James? People keep asking me that. My wife said I would prefer you have longer hair on top. And when your wife asks you to do something like that, you say, yes, ma'am, and you do it. So, okay, that's where I'm at. Not my personal choice. I like it shorter so that you can wake up and just hop on video, but it is what it is. So you'll have to just put up with it, Felix. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching, being here, Felix. So which of you three feels that you can give the best answer to maybe somebody who knows a little bit about crypto? They're not super familiar, they're not super involved, but what is yield farming?
Okay. I'll take the part of that, and then I'd like Aaron to also weigh in on it from his perspective. He's been doing for a very long time. But yield farming, what we're doing basically is we're setting up our capital, and we're allowing people to use our capital to trade tokens. So, for instance, imagine that you're flying in an airport and you land, or flying to an airport and you land, and you go to a coin exchange desk because you go to a foreign country and you need to swap out your base currency for the foreign country currency. Well, basically, they can come up to our desk and they can say, well, I have this currency and I need to swap it over for this currency. And you're like, great, that's my business. That's what I do. Here's the exchange rate. We're just going to take a smidge off the top of that for our services to pay for our time being here to do that swap for you. And here's your new currency. Have a good day. So in a nutshell, that's what liquidity farming is we are setting up our capital in an exchange of our choosing that we have complete control over, and we allow people to token swap. And it's a necessary function of DeFi. We're providing the liquidity. So they say, I don't want USDT, I want Ethereum. So they come and they give us the USDT, we give them the Ethereum, we take our little bit of a fee, and they are happy. Plus one swap, maybe 0.01%, of a trade or less, but we're in different exchanges and we get so much foot traffic to our exchanges that we're doing millions of dollars of swaps a day, the whole exchanges, and we're a part of that, and we're contributing to the success of DeFi in that manner and getting paid to do so. So Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy, Chris, of how this business works. It's the grease in the system. It's what keeps liquidity flowing. It's what keeps DeFi going. There's so many different coins being launched every single day in the crypto space, and the swapping that happens on chain is such a necessary part of that. Obviously, many of you have, I'm sure, used centralized exchanges, but on chain it is required for the users to provide liquidity, and so we as users are providing that service to other users, and it's completely decentralized, completely permissionless, and we get to take fees on that. And it's really about setting up a business in the crypto space.
Okay, awesome. Love that. And then again, just briefly, can you kind of walk through the process that is required? I could do this too, but you guys are the experts. I'm just the pretend expert who does videos. But walk us through, what does this process kind of look like? All the way from you have some money sitting around and to, oh, I took some profits from my yield farming.
Absolutely.
Got it. Yeah. Cliff, you want to take that one? And you're on mute, my friend.
I'll defer to you, Chris. You're much more eloquent than I am.
You answer a lot of
Yeah.
community questions. I'll do it. All right. So basically, what the whole process to get started is, you have money in your bank, and then you want to send that into crypto. There's a lot of different on-ramping solutions these days, but basically, you take your fiat, your normal bank currency, to something like crypto.com or to Kraken or to Coinbase or to Uphold. There's a lot of different places where you can send your currency and have it become crypto. Once it's at an exchange or an onboarding point, you can even use Spritz. I love using Spritz, by the way. But you can onboard it to Spritz, and Spritz will drop it right into your wallet as a stable coin of your choosing for a very small fee. It's only 1%. And it works flawlessly. But once it's in your wallet, then you decide where you want to invest. So you look at the different exchanges, and in the co-op, we talk about doing the research and finding the right places and the good, solid, strong performing pools, no rugs. And so you can go to Uniswap, you can go to Trader Joe's, you can go to Aerodrome, you can go to Velodrome. There's so many different places out there. We research all of these things. And then when you're ready to open a position, you go to an exchange and say, I would like to take my crypto and I would like to deposit it into the exchange, and these are my terms for trading, where you set in your ranges. And then from that point on, as soon as you make your deposit, you get a receipt back from that exchange in your wallet, and that entitles you and only you to withdraw your entire position. Nobody else can go into that exchange and withdraw your position. You get a unique NFT or vault token, whichever way they do it, and it's in your wallet. And unless you give that up, that is 100% redeemable 24/7 for you to get your funds back. They may not come back in the same percentages at which you deposited them. Maybe you went in 50% ETH and 50% USDT, and prices move around. You make money trades. You're like, well, I'm going to give you some ETH and I'll take some of your USDT. So that means you have more USDT than you began with. But you take that out and you claim all of the tokens that are in your position whenever you go and claim them from the exchange. I have a weekly tempo that I go in, I review my positions, I look at my positions every day. It's a quick 3 to 5 minute check, depending on the speed of the internet at the time. And then we can easily see if we're in our trading range or not, which is through the use of a tool. It's graphical, very easy to use. Basically, you're looking for a yellow line in the middle of a green line. But that'll tell you if you're in range. And then once a week, you just go to your exchange and say, I'd like to withdraw my earnings, and they go back to your wallet, and you can either reinvest them or compound them into your position. You could buy another token and hold it for the bull run. You can convert it to a stable, send it to Spritz, and send it back to your bank. It is a legit money-making business in DeFi. So you have all those options available to you. So.
Okay, awesome. Love it. And then the most common questions I get. So I'm going to just get these out of the way because they're kind of what I like to try to disqualify people. So first question is, how much technical knowledge do you need to get into this? So if you're somebody, you know what Bitcoin is, you know what Ethereum is, you don't maybe know what EVM is. Can you do yield farming? Is it something that people are able to pick up? So that's question number one.
Yes, there's multiple ways to get involved. The easiest way that we set up is there's a lot of tools and sites out there that are vaults. So you could easily go to a vault like BP Finance or Dex Finance or something along those lines, pick a vault and say, I would just like to zap in 100 USDT, and then it's one transaction and you're yield farming. So that's the easiest way to do it if you want to do it. And at that time, you can use that to start learning. You can also go through and with our help, we have videos out for every step in the process, from how to get money into crypto to how to get it into a position. And you can start going through the process that way. But it is technically a simple process to understand from a flow chart. There are a few technical steps along the way that you have to do, but Cliff and I have both partnered and helped somebody that is not very technical. We took several sessions with them one-on-one. But now we took them from not knowing anything about crypto to having 4 or 5 open farms that they're administering on their own. And let me just say, they knew absolutely nothing of crypto. It just took a little bit of work and a little bit of learning, and they go to all of our meetings to get all the information, and we walk through people. So yes, it is possible, but you do have to learn. I would say you do have to know how to use your computer, how to do online banking, how to do transfers, and how to use the internet. But beyond that, all the rest of the skills, even that's learnable, but all the rest of the skills we teach. So,
Can I interject? And if she
oh yeah, go for
can
it.
do it, anyone can do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, no, it's and it's kind of like it's one of those things where you just build on your knowledge over time. So if you don't know anything about crypto, well then yeah, the first thing might be to learn, okay, what is cryptocurrency? What are the different coins out there? Then step 2 might be, okay, what is a wallet? What's a hot wallet? What is MetaMask? What's Rabby? But then you just kind of keep adding on. You next step forward. How do I get money into my crypto wallet? Like you said, using Spritz or Coinbase or something like that. And then this is just one little extra step further, and it's really not any more. It's not any more difficult than any of the DeFi projects that we've been in, especially with the zappers now. It used to be you had to make your own liquidity pool tokens, and that got kind of complicated to think through. But now it's as easy as you pick a amount and then you click zap. And then you're good to go. Then you just start getting profits. So, and yeah, you guys do a great job of helping people. Honestly, I'll say too, these guys help a lot of people that are part of their program. They help a lot of people that are not part of their program. They just want to see people succeed. They want to see people help them achieve financial freedom. Again, that's why I bring them on here. So love that. Second question that I know people always ask, how much capital do you need to get started? What's kind of the minimum that you can get started and still be somewhat successful? This is probably not something that if you have $20 sitting around, might not be worth it with the gas fees and the onboarding fees and things like that. So what's kind of the minimum capital that you would recommend for somebody getting started?
I think anything, north of a couple $100 is going to get you started. The gas prices for all of these chains has come down significantly, especially in layer 2s now of Ethereum and the Solana chain. All of and BNB and all these chains are very, very inexpensive to use anymore. And actually, I just onboarded some cash onto Coinbase, and it's been essentially free from my bank to Coinbase and onto the base chain, because of the USDC integration that they have. Besides a lockup period of about 5 to 6 days from your bank to Coinbase, there hasn't been any fees in the onboarding process, which is really impressive. And I just think it's what Coinbase is trying to do to get more people onto the base chain. But in general, guys, the fees to make these transactions is so minuscule, like pennies every time you make a transaction, that you're making more in fees than you are in any of the transactions that you make. So I would say minimum, just to get started and start playing around with this is like, 200, 250, somewhere in there. If you really want to start seeing, some actual gains, depending on your net worth and how much your goals are and all this stuff. There's so many variables in this. Depends on, what your goals are, right? But I would recommend, just getting started with a couple $100, seeing how it works. And then once you're a little bit more comfortable getting into the farms, you can definitely put, tens of thousands if you'd like to.
Okay. Yep.
Absolutely.
Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying that's a great answer. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. A great answer. Now, if you're going to do Ethereum, you might want to have a little bit higher gas fees, but there are cheap chains these days. Like you said, the L2s on Ethereum are very cheap, where it's only a few cents. So yeah, you can start small. Now, it'll take you longer to reach your goals. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month with yield farming and you're starting at $200, that's going to be a fairly decent sized journey. So the more capital you can start with, obviously you're going to reach your goals faster. What would you say is the risk factor in yield farming? And that's a very broad question, but compared to like prop firm Forex manual trading or something like that. Where does this rate in kind of a risk tolerance in your guys' mind?
Yeah, it's nowhere near trading levels. Number one, it's your funds. Number two, you choose where to put your funds, and you remain control of your funds. So we only recommend using the most well-known, most audited, secure exchanges. Um, and then that really leaves just a couple of things. One, this is a virtual cyber environment, and everything on the internet can be vulnerable to cyber attacks, whether it's your local bank, the local TV station, your personal email, doesn't matter. Any of those still exist. These are computer programs that are written to facilitate the standing up of the exchange and the trading pools, and even the tokens themselves are computer programs that are written. So any of those, that's why we only look at the stuff that's been heavily audited. And then the last thing is something that's been occurring in the stock market and human trading and market making from the beginning of time, and that's impermanent loss. And what that idea is that markets move up and down all the time. And you have to know your starting US dollar value that you put into your trading, your exchange, so that you can make sure that when all is said and done, you're not going to close your position or sell out of your tokens when you're at a loss. But that's the same thing is true when you're buying Apple stock or you're buying the ABC company stock or something along those lines. You're going to buy in the stock and you're going to hope it goes up, but it's a stock market. It has a wave, up and down, hopefully more ups than downs. That's why we invest. But it's a market, and crypto is a market, exactly the same. The thing about yield farming, why it is so attractive right now, is because I don't know of any other business that you can start from day one where you can make 15 to 20% net return with almost no expenses in month number one with your startup capital. If you try to do that, like selling FBA on Amazon, you're going to struggle for 6 months to get up to maybe a 10% net return after all is said and done. If you start a bookkeeping business, you're going to be looking at maybe a 10 to 15% profit on your services. And in that business, you're trading your hours for dollars. Crypto, you spend literally, I run multiple farm portfolios. I'm managing several that are north of 20,000 to help people. And one of them is making $1,000 a week right now on 25K, and it's only in 5 farms, and we touch it 1 hour a day, 3 days a week, and that's all that's required for that. So in terms of risk, um, impermanent loss, we teach you how to manage for that. Contract risk, we mitigate that by using the most secure firms, most heavily audited exchanges and tokens, and then paying attention to community sentiment. And Aaron is all the time on top of market moves and Bitcoin. He's like a navigator. It's awesome. And then everything else is just you using your computer. So anything like your power goes out, or all those things that can happen every day. So in terms of riskiness, I would say scale of 1 to 10. 1 is putting your money in a CD in a bank, making maybe 3% a year, and a 10 is trading on futures and options. Personally, I believe this is around a 2.5 or a 3. So
Okay.
that's my answer.
Awesome. Good answer. Love that. And then another question to kind of disqualify people. How much time do you need to do this? That's a lot of people have money. A lot of people have time. But how much time do you need, maybe weekly or daily, to run something like this?
So I don't know about you guys. I'll let all three of us answer that one. So, number one, I spend tons of time researching because I enjoy it. It's a hobby and a pastime of mine. So I spend considerably more time than the normal farmer. But like I just said, I manage portfolios of about 25 grand, and that takes 3 hours a week. So, Cliff, what about you? You're on mute.
Yeah, I remember this time. Yeah, for me, I was in about like 12 farms. That's the most I've ever been in any one time. And unlike Chris, I find it extremely hard to manage. Not extremely hard to manage because I try to do my recording at nights and capture all the information that Chris captures. So now I'm down to about 5 farms, and it takes me about half hour at night just to check my ranges, collect, record my fees. So about an hour. Research takes more, but I don't research as much. I just hang on to Chris's coattail for the most part these days.
You're coming out with a great addition to our community, Cliff. Don't short sell yourself. I know you're great at research. And I just want to clarify. You said something about recording your fees. Fees are actually income in this business. People are paying us fees, so he's really recording his income. So
Good point.
Yes. Yep. Fees have a different meaning in yield farming than they do everywhere else. So fees are
Good point.
good. You want
That's
as many
right.
fees as possible.
Exactly.
Awesome. Love
Aaron,
that.
Aaron, what about you?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I probably spend maybe 3 hours a week doing my yield farming. I'm typically in 5 to 6 farms. Some of that is research time, and some of that is just re-ranging or trying to find better opportunities. So about 3 hours is all I really spent on yield farming each week.
Okay, very good. And then the $1 million question, what percentage of profit is expected in general? So this is going to vary widely, but what can kind of people be expecting?
Well, my favorite answer, it depends. Like that's a community joke. Whenever we have our calls, people ask me questions, and I say it depends. It depends a lot on your strategy and your risk tolerance. So you can be in large cap crypto safely and easily make an APR, and that's without compounding APRs, without compounding returns for a year of anywhere from 15 to 35% on blue chip and mainly stable farming. But what we like to do is we like to focus more on mid cap and an occasional small cap token. And we routinely get at least 0.25% a day pretty safely with minimal re-ranging. But what we like to see is people get 0.71% a day on the total investment for our 49 Weeks to Freedom Challenge. And so we're helping people find opportunities for that as well. So realistically, if you want hands-off, vault-fed yield farming, deposit once, check it every 30 days, you're probably going to get somewhere between 5 and 12% in a very, very, very safe vault. And that's always an option. So it depends, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm going to just caveat that Chris has been running the NFT program, and every single week he's making about 4%. So if you follow along with us and we do a farming with you as a part of our 49-week challenge, and if you stick with the plays that Chris is setting up and that we're helping him research and in range and these sorts of things, it's quite easy to follow along with him and be able to make that 4% every single week.
Okay. Love that. Nope. Great answer. If somebody answers a nuanced question with a non-nuanced answer, I get concerned. So I'm glad that you say it depends, because that is the answer to almost every question. If somebody just says you will make 25% consistently for the rest of your life, be wary of that. Okay. That's not how any businesses work. That's not how any revenue streams work. So there's a lot that depends on it.
Yeah, the yield farming is heavily dependent on foot traffic. Going to exchanges like today, everybody may want tons of Ethereum, so if you're doing liquidity providing for Ethereum, you're making lots of fees. Tomorrow, maybe nobody wants Ethereum because they bought it all yesterday. So it's kind of one of those shops where you're setting up shop and you're just scrolling your phone because you have no customers. So it is a real business based on people's desires of what tokens and what exchanges that they would like.
Okay. Very, very good. And then how do you decide which coins to yield farm? How often do you switch that around? Well, how often do you do blue chips versus more speculative coins? And along with that, somebody asked about gaming tokens. So how much do you like follow the narratives around? And it's like, oh, gaming is big right now. Let's get some game tokens in there. How do you guys figure out your portfolio?
Anybody, Aaron, you want to talk about your portfolio?
Sure, I can talk about mine. So I look primarily. I'm trading a lot of blue chips to stables. So I like trading gas tokens like Solana, BNB, Ethereum in various chains and in various pools. I look for high volume. I look for one of the rules that we set up. We have a set of guidelines that we follow with all of the pools that we jump into as a group. They have to have a minimum of $250,000 in liquidity. Anything higher than that is even more helpful. We want to make sure that the daily volume is outpacing the total value locked. So say there's $1 million total value in the pool that's being provided. Well, we want to see at least $1 million traded in a 24-hour period as well. And these are sort of the indicators that we look for in order to get into a pool. But generally, for me, I like to keep it with a gas token like Ethereum, like Solana, and pair it with a stable coin. Sometimes I will try to find a correlated coin. So like if I'm on an Ethereum based chain, say I want to get into Aerodrome on the base chain, and the Aero token's doing fantastic right now because it's the token that is being traded the most on base because it's in the most used decentralized exchange on the base network. So right now I've got a Aero to Ethereum pool, and because those tokens are correlated, I'm actually getting to take advantage of the price appreciation of both assets and not just one at a time. So if you're farming like a gas token versus a stable, you're only exposed to half of the price appreciation of that gas token, but you're also limited to the downside as well. So if that variable token, that gas token, was to drop in price, you still have your stable coin at the other side of that pair taking on about half the risk, really, as far as price appreciation goes. But right now, because we're heading in to this, we just had the Bitcoin halving a couple months ago. We're going into hopefully a really solid bull run, and I'm positioning myself more in these gas tokens and variable tokens because I believe price appreciation will happen with those.
Okay.
Great
Anything you guys
answer.
want to add to that?
Yeah. So basically, what we teach is we have some qualification guidelines that we like to go by when determining which pools to get in of and get out of. James, is it okay if I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
We love visual cues here. So
let me go ahead and do that. But basically, one of the things that we like to do is make sure that there's adequate liquidity so that it's not going to be a quick rug. We look to make sure there's adequate foot traffic to that liquidity. We like to see that there's more foot traffic or more daily volume than the TVL. And then we also like to ensure that the tokens have a utility. There's no doubt, like if you really want to play a meme coin game, that they're really hot right now. Meme coins are coins that are just held up in value by the community sentiment because they like the creator or they like the character. Like this is Toby, and Toby is a blue frog token. Has no purpose whatsoever, but if you like blue frogs, you might like the Toby coin. It has a very small amount of TVL, way below our standards, so we would never invest in this or recommend this or even really look at it in our community. But if you're a gambler, this is like a gambler pool. It's paying out 2760.14% APR right now, which is totally crazy. In reality, you probably won't ever see that total amount of money because that pool won't last for the entire year. But that is something that we would not do just because of what that is. So our minimum criteria is a minimum of $250,000 in the pool. And we like to look at that. Like here is, let me see, 250. Yeah, here's one right here. So this is a wrapped Ethereum Arrow pool. Arrow
Oh,
was the
sorry. We didn't have your screen up. I got it here. Sorry, guys.
oh, okay. Sorry. Well, Toby's back on the other screen. But anyway, so this is Arrow and ETH that Aaron was just talking about. This is a concentrated liquidity position, which means you say, I only want to trade tokens between 32 when ETH is worth 3,200 and 3,400, or Arrow's worth from 75 cents to $1.15. You get to set that range, right? And then based on that range, you can come over to this pool and get involved. They have $3.3 million of liquidity in here, and not all of that is actively trading. It's only trading in a certain range. So you're not competing against $3.3 million at all. But if you were in this pool with the range that it suggests, it's 802% for an entire year. And on top of that, the fees it generated in 1 week's time is about $110,000 of trading fees, which are paid to the providers of liquidity in this farm. So if you were in this farm actively putting your money there to be traded on, you would get your share of $110,000. So, but basically, in terms of narratives, that's something that we're working on building portfolios. That's coming out in a new lesson shortly. We're going to go through all the major crypto narratives and start making some recommendations for some pools that are really good for generating daily income. So we're looking at like real world asset tokenization projects. We're looking for on-chain, off-chain combined lending projects. We're looking for GameFi, which is gaming tokens. There's actually a subset of GameFi called GambleFi for gambling tokens for like online sports betting or online casinos. We're looking at like the layer twos, which is all the stuff that Aaron was naming off for gas tokens like BNB, Solana, or not all of them are layer twos, but we're looking for layer two tokens, BNB. We're looking for Optimism is great. Stuff like that runs on top of a layer one, which is like Ethereum. Bitcoin is a layer one. Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I saw the look. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically we're looking for well-established pools with a lot of foot traffic. And we're going to be rolling out a course on how to split that up into different narratives if there's different things that you're interested in investing in. Because if you're on the stock market, you may want to invest heavily in IT stock, and you may want to invest heavily in, I don't know, automakers, right? And you can do the same thing in crypto. And we're going to help people do that. But one of the things that I really like to do one-on-one sessions is help people build a portfolio that's specific to them with a particular purpose in mind, such as using crypto strategy pools selected to make enough money to help them with a debt repayment plan. I love the idea of America being debt-free. I think this is a tool that right now that everybody can use to help get closer to that goal. So it depends. But yes, we look at the narratives, we look at the foot traffic, we look at the exchanges, and then we look at, what you want to invest in.
Okay. Awesome. Love that. Love that. Great, great, great stuff. So tell us a little bit about your program. We have reached the time. Tell us about the Yield Farming Co-op and what you guys offer, what's all in there, maybe some results that you've seen so far.
Sure.
Start us off with that.
Okay, well, this is our community site. You can find us on school.com. Look up Yield Farming Co-op. When you find us, here we are. And we love doing AI graphics. So this is me and AI, and this is Denise. She also helps run the community as well. But you can go in here just to learn about yield farming at the basic level, get a lot of the basic knowledge. This is just $10 a month, and it helps us keep the lights on. But once you're inside, you'll get access to most of the courses at the $10 level. You'll get the welcome. So always go to the welcome first. And then you can start going into system setup, investing methodology, researching, getting into a farm, the tool shed where we talk about all the different tools and dexes out there. Number seven's reviewing our farms, which is really important to make sure that you're knowing where you are. But as an example, if we click on system setup, we have all of this content out here to show you, like from step one, how do we install Rabby? How do we install Kepler and XDefi? If you want to use a cold wallet, how you'd go about doing that. How you want to on ramp, you can go over here and say, I want to learn about Spritz. So you can click on Spritz and you can learn about how to do that. And then once you're past the basic setup, then we want to talk to you a little bit. This is one of my favorite sections: investing methodology and mindset. And then you can move on to, let's start researching farms and vaults. Let's get into one. Let's learn about some extra tools now that you're up and running. And then let's talk about how you measure your success in the reviewing of your farms. So all of that is included in the $10 a month membership. And you can definitely get started with that to see if all the information makes sense for you. From here, you can also, if you wanted to have one-on-one sessions, you can go over here to getting farming help. And then you can come over here and we help with all of these different activities one-on-one to help you get going as quickly as possible if you want that. Otherwise, we have group meetings every Thursday. We have a onboarding call for brand new people to yield farming that may need help getting their wallet set up or something like that, as well in a small group setting. And then on top of that, we have our challenge. So if you go to Yield Farming Co-op /challenge, this is where we talk about the 49 Weeks to Freedom Challenge program. And we have a bunch of results posted on here, real results from earlier in this year. And we talk about everything within the challenge. You'll actually get a curriculum. You'll get multiple admins. We have 6 admins working together to support all your farming needs. We also have a portfolio that we've researched and that we're using ourselves to generate passive income. You can use those as starting points. You can use those exact positions. It doesn't matter to us. The pools are large enough to come on in and bring your friends. You know, they're that size of pool. And then we also have a dedicated weekly challenge call where we go over tweaking farms, tweaking different software to help optimize things, checking on performance, you know, those type of things. A dedicated call just for this program. And basically what it is we have a bunch of testimonials down here of people that are doing a real good job. But basically we have a program set up to where you in the program can set your starting budget, and you can see what it would turn out like 49 weeks later to make sure that you're going to end up where you want. So I know we had talked about starting with about $6,500 as one potential strategy. At the end of the 49 weeks, that's going to give you $100,000 on average annual income. If you start and follow along and grow your farms appropriately every single week for the 49 weeks, you can take your 6,500 and potentially have the 100K at the end of the 49 weeks as a annual income. So people are over there, they're loving it. I'm personally doing this to replace a job as well. So it's going along very well for us. So you can check that out, yieldfarmingcoop.com/challenge to get involved. When you do sign up for that, it's $152 a month. You get the 49 weeks freedom challenge with a lot of different positions, and you get access to our farming with you. And farming with you is awesome. We've had some great feedback from that. We literally show on video every single step getting started with the portfolio. We meet every week and talk about pulling rewards. We vote during those calls on what to do with those rewards. We do those actions on the call, and we fill out all the paperwork on the side. So you know exactly, without a doubt, every single step dealing with that wallet and those farms. So we're having a really good success with that as well. People are really liking that format. So did I leave anything out, guys?
The only thing that I would mention is that Chris has a background in bookkeeping, so he gives you all the tools to be able to track everything with spreadsheets. Make sure that you are, if you are experiencing any impermanent loss, that you're seeing that in your spreadsheets. You're tracking your ins and outs. It helps with tax season at the end of the year to make sure that you know what your position size was when you started and when you exited. All of these things are given to you inside of the 49-week challenge because Chris is so meticulous with his spreadsheets and paperwork and he shows you how to fill them out and with just some of the basic videos that we start with.
Okay, very good. I love it. I think this is great. I love too that it is education focused because there's always ways to invest your money and there's all sorts of different things you can do. But really, when you learn skills like this, when you learn just about something like this, that is a tool for your passive income arsenal that you will benefit you forever. So there's markets all over the place. There's Forex market. Crypto is not the only place that has liquidity, that uses liquidity pools. And it's good for you to understand how market making works, how markets work, the importance of liquidity and things like that. That's not common knowledge. Okay. They don't teach this in school. I don't know why, but they don't teach any of this in school. And so even the educational side of it, to me, I think is extremely valuable and something that you'll take with you. So I wanted to highlight too what Lowell says here. We lost Chris when I do that. There we go. But he says, I love these guys. They are so helpful. And yes, I get that feedback from almost everyone that has interaction with these guys is that they're just super helpful. Where's the view where I don't look like I'm egotistical? There we go. But yeah, they everywhere I go, I get these guys were so helpful. They're not money focused. They're not money hungry. That's not their number one goal. They, of course, want to make money. They're not just, they have families and they're not just running a charity. So that's why it costs to be part of this. But that's not their number one goal. It's not a cash grab. If you're not a good fit for the program, they don't want you to be in the program. And but I think this is a great, the reason I brought these guys on twice, and I'll probably have them twice again, but is, again, real revenue stream, good return. This is, you're not getting these types of returns in a CD like Chris talked about. You're just not seeing these returns. These returns will beat inflation, which is something that I'm really passionate about. And so I recommend, not financial advice. How is a recommendation not financial advice? I do what you want with your money, but these guys are solid. Their program is solid. Cliff is a testament to that, so much so that he's here on the video to tell you, hey, this is a good program. So I love that. Chris, can you tell us a little bit? So let's say you're in my position where you are just booked. Like you have no extra time. You have no extra brain capacity. All my extra brain capacity goes to my 3 children and all the people around in my real life. And I don't know if I can learn something new like this and stay on top of it. What would you recommend for somebody in that position?
Yeah, well, we have just recently launched, as of last night, a farming co-op collection of NFTs where we actually do for this community farming for them. The expectation that we're aiming for is somewhere between 10 and 12.5% every single month, completely hands off. The only responsibility you have is to go to OpenSea to our collection and make a purchase of one of our NFTs. So from that point on, then we take the money you spent on the NFT, we invest it with everybody else, and we stand up farms, and we do the tender loving care and processing of rewards to make sure that we're getting somewhere between 10 and 12.5% real yield every single month. We just launched this in preparation for the call today with James. He was a real busy individual during our last call and was mentioning that it might be helpful if we have an opportunity for people to get involved and even use these NFTs to start while you go through the program and learn the information so that your money is already making money while you're learning. So again, real simple. The way this works is you go to the OpenSea collection / Yield Farming Co-op. James is going to have the link. You purchase an NFT, and then once a month, then we will distribute rewards to everybody that holds the NFT. And the good thing about this is you can sell your NFT if you don't like it, and get the whatever you sell it for. Maybe it'll be 0.1 ETH, maybe it'll be 5 ETH if people really like it. I don't know the cost of NFTs as much as others, but we figured that with 0.1 ETH, that's about $330 today, would be enough to get going in a solid startup farm for you while you're learning. Or if you choose never to learn, it'd be a great starting point for you to get a monthly return with us behind the helm farming for you.
Okay, very good. So options for everybody. I love it. So I just left the link if you'd like to be part of the Yield Farming Co-op, this 49-week challenge. There's the NFTs. Where'd my screen go? Chris has his screen. Where's my screen? Here we go. So yes, if you'd like to join the co-op here, I'll leave this link. And then, yeah, if you want to be part of the NFTs, if you think, I don't want to mess with this, I would rather just keep losing my links, but I'd rather just have somebody else do this for me. Do have these NFTs as well that you can get off OpenSea. But I recommend at least looking into it. At least make sure you understand what yield farming is. If you find yourself getting into all these different crypto DeFi projects, and I use that term loosely, and you're one of those people that is just going from project to project, and 80% of them, that might be generous, are losing you money in the end. Consider true DeFi. This is how DeFi started, decentralizing the liquidity. That's really where that phrase started in a lot of ways. And again, you can do that through learning yourself, which I would highly recommend. Getting the educational piece of it. But again, if you're busy and you just have some capital that, hey, I want some yield farming exposure, you can start small. These are only 0.1 Ethereum. So you can start small and just say, I just want one. Okay. And we'll start with that. And then as you see, it's working really well, maybe I want to get 100 of them or something like that. Is there a limit to how many you can get?
There's no limit on how much you can get. Right now, we put the first 80 up there available. This is series 1, and depending on how fast that people get involved, we'll extend series 1 probably for another 80, and before we get around to doing series 2 with a whole different set of NFTs. Regardless of the NFT that you get at the moment, the program is all the same. You will be part of the community farm. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, great to have you guys. Actually, first audience, great to have you guys. The only reason I connected with all these people is because you guys watch. So I appreciate you guys. Want to always say thank you for all that you do. And then Aaron, Chris, and Cliff, thank you guys for, again, building something that is helpful for people, not being greedy or money grab or anything like that, but just something that I feel very comfortable. Hey, audience, go check this out. Go follow All Things EVM on YouTube if you don't already. Check out the Yield Farming Co-op, also the Done For You NFTs as well. Both those links are in the description and in the comments. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you very much for having us.
James.
Thanks, James.
Awesome. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to you later.
Amen.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.